Hi, this is Robin West from the Zebra Technologies Data Services team. I'm here today again to tell you about the Mobile Computer Device Health APIs. In this video, we will be going through the APIs associated with applications running on your Zebra mobile computer devices. There are three APIs associated with applications running on your mobile computers. One of them is just a listing of finding out what the installed applications are on that device. One of them tells you about the application usage, which APIs are being used and for how long, as well as the third API is having to do with errors associated with applications that are not responding and the events associated with those. The Retrieve Application History by ID API is quite simple to use. We just put in the device ID. The date, I just am pulling up 1 day's worth of records and put in my API key. I'm going to send this request. And what I get back is a list of all the applications that are installed on that device, seeing both the Google installed ones as well as ones that we've installed separately. These are pulled back by the timestamp, so every day that the device is online and able to send data, it will send a list of the currently installed applications on it. It also will tell you whether or not one of those applications was newly installed that day or whether it was uninstalled that day as well. As you can see, the response also says things like the package name and version number of that package, which can be used later on when you're looking at some of the other APIs associated with usage of these packages and some of the errors that might be involved. The API for retrieving application usage is also fairly simple, and there are actually several different methods that you have that are associated with this. So you can actually find out the usage by device, or by package, or by both device and package, or even by model number or model of the device and the package. So it gives you different ways of breaking down the data to find out how much certain applications are being used and on which devices they might be used more or less on. And to see that in action, I have one queued up here. I'm going to go ahead and send this request. And it's telling me on several different packages, including Data Wedge and App Gallery, as well as some of the device management applications, how much that application is actually being used in seconds. Some of the applications on here show a decent amount of usage on them. That's because if the device is running, sometimes these run in the background. And so you'll see that they're actually running in the background and they're showing a large amount of usage on them, especially if people are actively engaging with the device to do other things. These background applications are also showing usage. And as you'll also see in here, each of these ones are timestamped by date. So you can actually see day by day how much has been used. I only pulled up a week. But it's showing day by day how much each application is being used. We're seeing the same ones primarily up here because most of these are background applications. And this particular device is actually turned on and running pretty much all day long. Might not have a lot of other usage to it, but it's just one of the ways that we end up doing a lot of testing is just turning it on and having it run. And so you do see that kind of usage in here. The last API that we're going to look at today is application not responding. So this tells you a lot of times if there's an issue with an application, you'll get an application not responding. This is a pretty common occurrence across multiple different types of operating systems and applications, but you do definitely see it on Android devices as well as your PCs and your Macs, as far as the application not responding to your your interactions with it. So we do have multiple different ways of accessing the data for ANRs. You can either cut it by device or by package and device, by application, or even by model. It gives you different ways of actually doing troubleshooting and figuring out what might be happening with a specific application that might be causing problems within your fleet of devices. So as part of the dashboard application that you've seen us creating over the last few videos, we created a new page to show the different applications that are associated with the different devices. So you can see on this particular device, we have a number of different applications logged onto it, and I can pull up a different one. It shows a number of different applications and usage times on them. It also shows the number of times that we've had an application not responding and the usage in seconds. Couldn't find applications that had an application not responding alert on it. So unfortunately, I can't show you that. But you can see how it would be coming in here to showcase what those numbers are. One thing to keep in mind is that we're not only showing what's happening now, but we can also look back historically at things like usage of certain applications over time. Right now we pulled this up showing the usage in seconds for the last week, but we could go back and see what was the usage last month or last year, and all of that information is actually available. In fact, that's information that's available on most of these device health APIs as well. So the code for this particular page is very simple. All it has in it is a couple of different API calls. The one to get the applications that are on the device, and that's fairly simply here, the history that I showed you earlier. There's also a call to get the number of application not respondings, another one that I showed you earlier. And then the third one is to get the usage metrics, and all that's being added to that table. So all in all, very simple code to get this information about the applications and the devices that they're running on. So I hope you found this information useful, and we'll see you on the next video.